Hello everyone! New cards means new decks, and today we're going to be jumping back into Historic with an Enchantress deck. Now, Phyrexian Unlife has recently been added to Magic Arena, and actually this is a very special card to me personally. When I started playing Magic, I actually started with a mono-white Enchantment Stacks deck that focused on this combo that you see right here. Phyrexian Unlife, stopping us from losing the game for having 0 less life, and Solemnity, which stops us from getting counters. Right now, notably, damage below 0 is going to be dealt as poison counters by Phyrexian Unlife. Poison counters will not be had by us because of Solemnity, and with those two things together, we will not be able to lose the game. This is a much better version of the 9 lives Solemnity deck that we see on Arena, because 9 lives does have a lose condition for us, so that's just a little bit too risky. Now, we do have a couple of other things to help us build up our pillow fort and protect us from our opponent completely. We won't be dealt damage. We can't be targeted if we have Leyline here. Giving ourselves hexproof is going to be very powerful. And furthermore, if our opponent is going for a mill strategy that doesn't target us, we have Gaia's Blessing here to stop that from happening. We'll never deck ourselves either, so we have all the time in the world to eventually beat our opponents. That being said, we are a little light on threats since we are playing a deck that's focused on building up a pillow fort, so let's talk about how we'll win the game. We can cast Approach of the Second Sun twice. This is a solid way to secure a win for us if the game is going on for too long. We also have Hallowed Haunting. This is going to create more and more creatures and give us a very wide board as we cast all of our enchantments, which can be very powerful. Now, we also have a win condition in Destiny Spinner. That activated ability for 4 mana, turning one of our lands into an XX elemental, where X is equal to the number of enchantments we control, is very powerful. Additionally, that creature is going to have trample, so we can get through small blockers with this. The rest of our deck is just about protecting all of our enchantments. We have 4 copies of Sterling Grove, 4 copies of Greater Oromancy. This is going to give our enchantments either Shroud or Hexproof, both of which are very strong for stopping us from being targeted. Rest in Peace is going to deal with our graveyard and our opponent's graveyard. We do want to be careful with Rest in Peace. It does not synergize well with Gaia's Blessing, so if we do have Rest in Peace in play, we want to make sure it's to deny our opponent's value, not to gain us value. We also have Ground Seal as well, which is a little bit of a safer version of Rest in Peace there, stopping things in graveyards from being targeted by spells and abilities. We have Sanctum Weavers for ramp, which is going to be very powerful. Sithis for card draw. We also have Enchantress's Presence for card draw. Getting our card draw is going to be very powerful to making sure we can actually find everything we need to win the game. Mana base is fairly straightforward. Only thing I want to mention is we do have Lair of the Hydra here. This is going to be a great attacker in the late game and also gives us another potential out. 4 copies of Ossification. Our land base will be able to support these, and these are very strong enchantment-based removal spells for us in Arena. Now, if you guys have been enjoying my videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest content. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, we are on the play here, and honestly, this is not an opening hand that I really want to keep. We're going to go ahead and take the mulligan. This is much better. We're going to keep 6, bottom the rest in peace. I'm going to go ahead and start with our Thicket. Thicket's going to be a great way to start since it will enter untapped, but will enter tapped later. That's the reason why we didn't go for Temple Garden right away. Gonna play out Sithis now. Sithis is also very powerful for us. Going to give us some life gain, give us some card draw. I think we're going to go Greater Oromancy next. Yeah, we'll play this tapped, go Greater Oromancy. This is going to protect Sithis. And go ahead and deal some damage. So now we've kept our opponent off potential targeted removal that can deal with Sithis. We're greatly reducing that risk to ourselves. I think we're going to go for a Hallowed Haunting next turn. Explore, our opponent's ramping. Now, board wipes can still kill Sithis, and that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna go Hallowed Haunting here. Gain a life, draw a card. You could make a case for second Greater Oromancy. That way both of them will have Shroud. And that would stop our opponent from being able to target any of our permanents with removal. But we know our opponent is playing a Gates deck here. So Hollowed Haunting is going to be much better. This is going to actually start giving us value, which is much stronger. Let's go Phyrexian Unlife here. Okay, draw a card. Let's go second Greater Oromancy. Stop all the targeting. We have Solemnity as well, so damage is going to be out for us. Now we are still a little concerned. Our opponent could potentially use a board wipe, kill all of our creatures, there goes our threat. And they have their own win condition in Maze's End, yep. So we do have to be very careful. Yeah, no blocks. We'll go ahead and take that. Let's go Solemnity first. Then we can play Enchantress's Presence. Now everything has flying, so we're going to start dealing some damage. Of course, Rest in Peace is not going to be one of the enchantments we want to cast this game. We're not going to really be getting any benefit out of that. My guess is we're going to see another Escape to the Wilds. Trying to find something to deal with our board. If they had the board wipe, they would have used it. Nope. Looks like they do have the board wipe, and we're simply waiting to use it. Okay, opponent does have a bunch of gates. I think they're trying to decide whether they want to use Maze's End here. Nope, they're gonna go Guild Summit, draw some extra cards. Yep. That's fine. Let's go Sanctum Weaver, draw a card. Make a token. Let's go Ground Seal. Draw a card. Let's go Sithis. And we'll play the Tap Thicket here. Now we can start going for Approach. Approach is our own win con. Our opponent has 8 different gates now. So they are 2 away from winning. It will be 1 with Maze's End here. Yeah, and they are going to find it. But they don't have the Maze's End in play, so we still might have it with our Approach of the Second Sun. We also might just have the combat damage we need. Yeah, no block. That's fine. We go to -4. Yeah, I think we just win on the swing back. Our opponent doesn't have anywhere near enough mana to deal with us. So let's just go ahead and buff our creatures. Get that guaranteed win. Almost there. And we can tap our Sanctum Weaver for Approach of the Second Sun as well. Play out a Leyline. Grab the biggest board we can. Ossification, just to end things off. Get rid of Gatebreaker Ram, not that it could block anyway. And let's see how much damage that is. Very nice. Alright, opponent goes first, and actually this looks like a hand that I am more than happy to keep. We'll start with the Leyline on the battlefield. We have 2 forms of protection, so we can make sure all of our enchantments have Shroud. We have a Sithis for value. I think this is actually really good. Yep, so we'll go ahead and keep. Alright. Opponent did take a mulligan, so we're also at a slight card advantage here as well. I think we're going to start with the tap Temple Garden. Play Lair the Hydra turn 2. Yep. Dismal Blackwater. So maybe we are afraid of counterspells out of our opponent. Oh, it's a mill deck. We have Guy's Blessing. This is so funny. Okay, let's play out Sithis. You could make a case for playing out Sterling Grove or something like that first, but I'm pretty content with our decision. Crystal Grotto, gonna scry. Yeah, all that targeted discard that they have for black is gonna be pretty useless. Yep. I mean, at this point, I'm almost considering just playing the Guy's Blessing so they know we run it. Of course, Go Blank would be able to exile our graveyard, but it cannot target us because we started with the Leyline. This is kind of what we were talking about when we said building up a really strong pillow fort. I think we just go Sterling Grove number 2 here. Looks good. End the turn. Now Tasha's could be a problem, because it could exile Guy's Blessing. But I think that's the only card that they could run that I'm afraid of. Interesting. Alright. What do we want to do here? I think we'll play the Unlife. See if it draws a counter. Nope. Play our tap land. Again, I don't mind us milling off the orb. Yeah, twice the orbs. Twice the fun. I'm sure our opponent feels particularly good. Yeah. Let's see if they hit that Guy's Blessing. Not yet. Nope. Alright. Well, we're gonna go Hollowed Haunting here. No attacks. Dissolve those triggers. Honestly, I think it would be so funny if we milled our own opponent out with their Mesmeric Orb. Yeah, draw on some cards. Experimental Augury, sure. Yeah, so I'm not yet at a place where our opponent is gonna guaranteed mill us out next turn. We don't have enough tapped permanents. And I'd love to hit that Guy's Blessing though. Get 29 cards back in our library. Yep. And now this is one of those games where we definitely cannot play Rest in Peace. So let's see what they hit. Approach, yeah. Almost there. There we go, Guy's Blessing. See if that draws the concede. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Either way, I think we go Sanctum Weaver here. Let's go Solemnity as well. We could play this out as a land. Don't think we have to. Swing in. Start damaging our opponent. Alright, so they're gonna get milled a bunch. So they do have Tasha's, so there is a way out. That being said, are there any other Tasha's in here? Nope. Just that one. Okay, that'll get rid of our board. That's fine. Yeah. Resolve all this. Yep. Guy's Blessing. A nice little reset for us. Alright, so let's think about what we want to do here. Let's go Sanctum Weaver, make a Spirit, Greater Oromancy. And honestly, I think that's going to be okay for this turn right now. We'll just go ahead and pass. We'll remember to put a stop on our upkeep. We can use... Actually, we'll put a stop on their end step. We'll use our Sterling Grove, because we have a Greater Oromancy now, so everything will still have Shroud and or Hexproof, and we can go ahead and pick our draw. We're going to want to do that after all the orb triggers, though. I think we're going to want another Hallowed Haunting. Nice, they have a Guy's Blessing as well. So we are going to have to kill them with damage. Sure, enters with no counters. Thank you, Solemnity. Moving to my turn. Yep. Approach the second sun. Let's go ahead, activate this. Pay 1. Resolve. Alright, not too much left here. Picking what we draw, let's pick Sithis. Move to our main, play our Sithis. Let's go Phyrexian Unlife. Play a Plains. Not gonna be too risky here. Go ahead. Swing for 8. We've got lethal on board. We'll hold on to all of this. And Tasha's would be really bad for us. We see one in their graveyard. Yeah, no counters on their Saga. Impulse, yep, they're looking for Tasha's. Tasha's could close out the game. If not, we'll definitely have it on the swing back with all of our spirits. Maybe a board wipe. Stall so they have some time. Sure. Okay. We've got it. All right. All right, here we are on the play. We have that ley line. We're going to go ahead and keep this. This looks good. Sanctum Weaver is also going to help us out a bunch with our ramp. Opponent just says good game at the start, so maybe they have a very good opening hand. I don't know. Well, they start with a tap land, so let's go Greater Oromancy first. Could be playing into a control deck. Either way, it should be much more difficult for our opponent to deal with our board. Alright, we go Sithis here. Sithis is just going to give us draw off of our casts, which isn't important. Okay, so it's a Lotus Field deck. That's fine. Okay, let's go Sterling Grove here. Complete our protection. Swing for 1. Go ahead, pass. So now I am curious as to what our opponent is trying to do here. Search for glory, sure. Let's see what they find. Again, I'm pretty sure we're just afraid of farewell. Yeah, no, we've got it. Alright, so this time we've got our opponent on the play. We'll go ahead and keep this. Hallowed Haunting is going to be big for us. Start with our white land. Next turn we'll play out Sterling Grove. Looks like we're playing into mono black, so Sterling Grove is going to be huge for us. We draw the Phyrexian Unlife as well. So this is looking really good. Next turn we go Sanctum Weaver. Probably play towards Hallowed Haunting. Of course, our opponent can have us discard. Or not discard, but sacrifice the Sanctum Weaver. Or discard any of our cards with a Thoughtseize-like effect. So we do have those two things to worry about. The One Ring. Okay, so it's a One Ring deck. That's fine, though. Alright, so we go Hallowed Haunting here. And let's go ahead and play out our Phyrexian Unlife as well. So now we're pretty safe. We might see Orcish Bowmasters to hit the token, who knows. We could deal with any threatening creature with Ossification. I'm thinking it's namely going to be Shieldred. Yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead and draw that. Let's go Ossification. Hit Shieldred. We'll save our second Sanctum Weaver. I'd rather have it as an enchantment cast. Go ahead and end the turn here. Now here's the part where we might want to just forgo our protection with Sterling Grove, and instead just get something that's going to draw some more cards. Now our opponent does play another Shieldred here, so we're not going to quite go that route just yet. But that is eventually going to be an option for us to get out of this. Yeah, draw some cards, gain some life, sure. Our opponent is going to mill out before we do, so unless they have a way to force us to lose, we're actually going to stay in a really good spot. Again, here we really want to see card draw. Orcish Bowmaster, sure. Looks good. Okay, so yeah, our opponent can have us sacrifice creatures. I definitely don't want to play the Rest in Peace here. Do I want to play a Sanctum Weaver? No, I think we still hold on to it. We're gonna go ahead and pass. We do have to be careful, because setting up our extra draw is going to enable both Shieldred and the Bowmasters. We can also, of course, use Sterling Grove to find our Solemnity and finish off the lock that our opponent is trying to get on us. Let's see. Yep. That's fine. We could also get Leyline. Leyline could be good as well. Leyline stops Bowmasters from targeting us. We do have a lot of different options. Let's put the stop. Yeah, so our opponent's gonna do a lot of targeting us. Well, we find Solemnity, okay. Couldn't have really asked for much better than that. Yep. Our opponent won't be able to kill us right now because we do have Phyrexian Unlife. Yep. And again, I don't think they have really a way to deal with our enchantments. Draw 2 cards, loses 2 life? Sure. Yep. Yep. This is the part where our opponent discovers what reading the cards will do for you. So we'll get 4 poison counters here. Or sorry. Yep. Oh, that's right. Yes, this isn't damage, that's life loss, so only 2 poison counters. Shieldred is useless now. Opponent's tapped out. Yep, there we go. Please read the card. Next turn we drop Solemnity. I think we drop Sithis first, because we don't actually care about card draw. Or at least the negative impacts of that. Yeah, Sithis will draw a card, get up to 2 poison counters. We actually don't need this stop anymore. Yeah, we're gonna keep our Sterling Grove. Yep. Opponent has 8 cards in hand, so they do have to discard 1. Another one of those. Alright, draw for turn. And we draw the Leyline. Okay. Well, that puts us in a really good spot. I think we have enough enchantments where we're just going to go Solemnity first. Play out our Leyline as well. Now we can play Sithis. Let's go Ossification. Actually, instead of Ossification, we're going to play a redundant Phyrexian Unlife. Make sure we have 2 of those. Alright. Opponent holding priority here, so my best bet is we're gonna see a rope and then win this game. And there it is. Alright, so we've made it through the rope. We'll go ahead and deal 12 damage. Pass, we'll see what our opponent has to do. And then, of course, we have lethal on the swing back. And we've got it. Alright, everybody, as we saw, Enchantress can be a very powerful deck on the ladder. We have insane protection for ourselves, so we can prevent ourselves from losing the game very easily, and then take all the time we need to develop one of our win conditions, and then eventually get there. Now, of course, this deck that I showed you today is kind of a jack of all trades, where it has some cards that can do pretty much everything. If you're playing in best of 3, I would definitely recommend siding out a lot of the cards that we saw in there. So the Rest in Pieces and Graveyard Hate can go in the sideboard, the Guy's Blessings can go in the sideboard, because those are cards you're really only going to need up against mill matchups or reanimator matchups, right? So having those main deck is good for best of 1, but kind of bad for best of 3. Instead, I'd recommend replacing them with some other utility enchantments, maybe some targeted removal, things like that. But aside from that, the deck is very good as in its current state, and only gets better once we're looking at best of 3. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any other ideas for a deck you'd like to see me play, why don't you let me know in a comment down below. I'll see you all next time.